In this lesson, we're going to start adding a feel to our 12-bar blues progression. We're going to look at the accents that come on 2 and 4, also known as backbeats. And we're also going to introduce upstrums into our strumming technique so that we can further add nuance to our sound that we're making. So the blues and also jazz and some other styles have more of a focus on the second and fourth beats of the bar. So instead of going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, they go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. This has a completely different feel, and although you might intrinsically or sort of instinctively know this feel in the blues, it's important to outline exactly how weird it sounds when we do accent other beats. So let me see if I can accent beats 1 and 3 in a 12-bar blues shuffle. Let me see, it's a little tricky sometimes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sounds a little odd, right? Does this sound better? 1, 2, 3, 4. That sounds, instinctively right. So what's happening there is we're accenting the 2 and the 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So, in order to practice this, let's start with a simple exercise. We're going to put our left hand or our fretboard hand on the strings just lightly so we get a muted sound. When we strum with the right hand, we're just going to get that dead string sound that we're often trying to avoid when we play chords on the guitar. With our right hand, we're going to do down strums, straight through all 6 strings, not dragged, but straight through. And we're going to keep them nice and even. 4 even beats, counting in after 4. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, we'll do exactly the same, but we're going to accent beats 2 and 4. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you might wonder, what exactly am I doing to accent to make those louder? There are 2 things that we can incorporate. One is that we simply bring down the pick and the hand with more speed and more force into all 6 strings. So here we're strumming across 6 strings like we might do in an E7 chord. And we're going through all 6 strings. So we can go through all of them lightly or with a harder and heavier hand, and we get an accented note. So let's try that, 4 bars of accenting all 6 strings just by basically hitting the strings harder. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? Another way to do it, and I accidentally did it on the first beat in that example, is to not hit all of the 6 strings. This is not an exact science. People, students in the past have often asked, what string should I hit, and is it okay if I, miss them sometimes? The answer is yes, and it's not an exact science. You basically work on the principle that hitting 1 or 2 strings creates less volume than hitting all 6. I'm not really forcing my hand any differently, it's just less strings, more strings. And especially when you look at chords and they have open strings, so less strings, more strings. There's just more sound to go around. So let's do that muting exercise again. Our fretboard hand is going to be rested lightly on the strings. And we're going to practice on beats 1 and 3. We're just going to aim for the bass 3 strings, so the 6th string, 5th string, and 4th string. And on beats 2 and 4, we're going to go through all 6 strings. Now don't try and force the hand to be heavier on 2 and 4, just let it go through more strings. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Great. Now we can marry the grouping of strings with also the faster, heavier hand, and we're going to get an even more differentiated stroke. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. So that's all down strums. And let's see now how that sounds in the 12-bar blues progression. So you can play along with me. And the trick here, but you may have already come across this in the beginner course, is that with chords that use 5 strings instead of 6 or 4 strings instead of 6, we have to make sure we're not hitting strings that aren't in the chord. So in the case of A7, if we're doing that light strum, it might be the 5th, 4th and 3rd string, and if we're doing a full strum, it might be all 5 strings, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So there is some accuracy involved in those chords, but in terms of how many you strum on the weaker beats, it could be 1, could be 2, could be 3, could be 4, could be all 5 in A7, you just do it a bit lighter. So you can see, as I said, it's not an exact science. So let's go through the progression now. Down strums, accenting beats 2 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. And if we play that a little faster, you start to hear the driving nature of that backbeat. And we start to really get that great blues sound that we love so much in this progression. Okay, but we're jumping ahead a little bit. Now I want to introduce the upstrum into our strumming technique for this progression. Keeping with our down strums, marking the beats 1, 2, 3, 4, I now want to mark the off beats, the and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and, with upstrums. And we're going to do them nice and even and straight rhythmically. So let me demonstrate. I'm going to rest my hand again lightly on the strings. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So just even, there's no particular accents, but the down strums tend to be a little heavier than the up strums just because of the nature of the movement. So play now with me 4 bars of straight eighth notes, no accents. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2, 3 and 4. Now let's add in the accents on beats 2 and 4. So it will sound like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So the up strums are relatively even. We're not changing those at all. It's just the down strums on 2 and 4. Let's do 4 bars of that. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Good. Now I want to bring back our triplet rhythm because that was straight eights, nice and straight, but it doesn't really suit the blues rhythm. So a triplet would be more like da 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 ba 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 ya ba da 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 da. So there's our triplet rhythm with the up strums, and we're going to add in the accent as well. So let's jump straight into it. Triplet rhythm, down and up strums, accenting beats 2 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Great. Now let's try implementing that in the 12-bar blues progression with the chords. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's the focus for this lesson. We've introduced accents on the 2 and 4, we've introduced upstrums, and now marrying that together with the triplet rhythm. Now just to give you an example of what it sounds like when it's faster, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it is exactly the same as we just went through. It's at a faster tempo, you need to relax the wrist, and it will take some time, but that's your challenge for this lesson. Go through the exercises that I presented you, strumming with the left hand muted, accenting 2 and 4. Then add in straight eighths with accents on 2 and 4. Then add in the triplet rhythm with accents on 2 and 4. And then play it with the chord progression. Finally, we're going to start upping the tempo, and you'll find backing tracks at different tempi so that you can progressively build your speed with these strumming techniques as you move on. In the next lesson, we're going to bring all of these skills to the shuffle. I'll see you there.